Hello and welcome to Cook This.
Hello, I'm Sarah Johnson, and we are on Cook This. Today on this episode, we have Cheryl Corrado joining us from Cafe Liberty. Welcome to the show, Cheryl.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you. Let's get on with meeting our guests here. We have 3 guest judges on Cook This. First, we have Colette Buscemi from our front office, Kristin Smetana, our principal here at RB, and last but not least, Tammy Mollo, also one of our front office people who keep this place held down pretty tight during the day. Thank you, all you ladies, for what you do for us.
Sure.
Back to Cheryl Corrado is going to prepare some fish for us today. We're very excited. We're very hungry. And first, we're going to talk a little bit about Cafe Liberty.
I work with Cafe Liberty, and Cafe Liberty actually is a training program for a culinary training program for veterans. So some of the recipes that we're doing today or actually all the recipes we're doing this today are from the curriculum of that we made for the students for Cafe Liberty program. So I'm going to make some rice pilaf. And then we're going to make some, I have tilapia today, so we're going to do tilapia Veracruz, which is a Mexican style of fish cooked with tomatoes and onions and green olives and a little bit of jalapeno for spice. So,
wonderful.
So we're going to get started. We're going to get our rice pilaf on because that's going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to start there. And here we go. I've got some stock going here to use as our liquid, and when you work with rice, generally the ratio is 2 to 1. So however much rice you're going to make, you're going to double that in your liquid. You can use water, you can use stock, you can use some fruit juice in there sometimes with water, whatever you want to use. So I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil and to start.
And what kind of stock are you using today?
I'm using a really light chicken stock.
Chicken stock.
Yeah, because I didn't have fish stock with me. I didn't want to compete with that. Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
So to make rice pilaf, the difference between this and regular rice is we're going to use some aromats in there. So we're going to saute some shallots in there. And
I love shallots.
I do too.
They're so good.
They are. They're really quite tasty. And we're going to what's called sweat these shallots. I don't want to brown them, so we're going to cook them until they get really clear, translucent, and soft. And
it's already smelling great.
Yeah, right? Pretty much. It's easy for shallots. I mean, you don't have to do much, and it smells great.
They're
so
yummy.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it doesn't take long for our shallots to start to soften. And then
I know,
yeah. And then we're going to add our rice. So once your shallots are ready to go, we're going to add our rice to it. And the point now is we want to make sure that the little bit of oil that I put in there that is all flavored from the shallots now is going to coat the rice.
Cheryl, you're like a natural at this. Don't you see this?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Facing the audience, talking right at us. Thank you for being so good at this.
So I'm trying to.
Looks good.
So it's starting to get coated, and the rice is going to start to get a little bit translucent looking, just because of the rice, the fat coating it. And again, you can use butter in here if you want. I'm using olive oil. I thought it would be better with our Mexican dish.
Now, what would you say? Some people say, "Oh, I'm afraid to cook fish." Do you hear that from some people?
I'm
afraid. Are you?
I am afraid.
Well, we have some teaching to do here.
Yes.
What will you say to people who say, "I don't know what to do with fish. I'm afraid of fish," because I love fish.
The thing that I think people are the most paranoid about is they tend to overcook fish, and then it doesn't taste very good. So you need to cook it just till it's done, and it happens much quicker than most people think. We're used to cooking meat, which is a longer time, and you're taking a temp, or you want chicken and it's well done, and this is like a few minutes you're done. So it's a nice quick meal. All right, our rice looks pretty much ready to go. We're going to add a couple bay leaves, little pieces of bay leaves to that, and I've got some thyme sprigs I'm going to add into
And
that.
all in with the thyme, huh?
All in
All
with the
in
thyme.
with the thyme.
Yeah, we'll fish it out later. Okay. So
Fish it out later.
Fish it out
Do
later.
you hear that?
Sarah.
You hear
No
that,
pun
guys?
intended, right? Yeah.
You're good. Why don't you host the show? I'll just
Yeah.
sit over there and eat.
There you go. All right, so we've got our liquid, our stock in here, and we've got it all mixed together. What we're going to do now is we're going to cover it as soon as it comes to a boil, and then I'm going to put it on super low.
Okay.
Okay. You could also do this in the oven, which is really nice. So either way, you can.
How do you
Never-
do it in
never
the oven?
Right.
Yeah.
rice in the
More.
oven.
Yeah. You've got all your liquid in there. You just cover it just like you would cook it on the stovetop, but you can put it in the oven and do it nice and low in the oven as well.
Just put
Make
the
it
whole
300,
pot in
the
there?
whole pot in with a lid, and you're good to go.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like, I don't know, I do Thanksgiving a lot at my house, so you've got like lots of
Got
stuff
too much
going on the
going on.
stove,
Right.
so it's like anything you can just pop in the oven is great.
So do you let it come to a boil and then pop it in the oven, or
Yes.
just okay?
Yes, and we're just about there. It's at a really nice low. Every time I take it off here, that stops. But we're at a really nice low simmer,
get a shot?
and I'm going to put the. I don't know if I could turn that. Yeah, you can't really see it.
There we go.
So I'm going to put my lid on, and I'm going to monitor it. I'm going to put it on pretty low here, and I'll just probably have to check it in a little bit.
What other fish do you like to cook? Now, you could, because you
Any
could do
fish.
other fish with this dish,
You
correct?
could do, and yes, typically it is served with red snapper.
Yum.
So I couldn't find any, unfortunately, when I was shopping, but we've got tilapia, so that'll be a good sub for today. If a little firmer fish works really nicely with this, because we're going to par cook it and then finish cooking it in the sauce, so it's going to absorb a lot of that
Right.
tomato flavor as well. So for just a few minutes, we're going to put a little bit of lime juice on our fish. Help season that up a little bit. And then we're just going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on and let it sit for just a couple minutes. If you use acid with a fish, just as you know with anything else that you might put acid on, protein-wise, it's going to cook it.
Cook a little.
So yeah, so you don't want to leave it very long, or it'll start to break down the fish, and the fish will get like super white and look like it's cooked. And then when you try to cook it, it's already being cooked. So when you add the heat to it, it even overcooks it.
Right.
So
And it's a fairly thin cut here we have today.
yeah,
so.
yeah. This is usually done with fillets. So
Do you use
we're-
kosher? I'm sorry.
I always use kosher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, or sea salt. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we could probably take a break for a second.
All right,
while this
so
sits and our,
this is Cook This. We have Chef Cheryl Corrado here. We're going to take a break here in just a little bit while our rice pilaf is cooking. And please don't let me butcher the name of this fish. Will you say it for us, Cheryl? We're preparing. My Southern's coming out.
Veracruzana.
Veracruzana, filet Veracruzana with tilapia and rice pilaf.
Correct.
And right now we have our rice going, so we're in a holding pattern.
We are.
We have put some acid and
Right.
salt and so forth on our fish, and we're just waiting to get that stuff on the hot plate as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a bit. We're back with Cook This. Today on Cook This, we have Chef Cheryl Corrado, who's making us fish Veracruzana and a rice pilaf to go with that. So we've got our rice cooking, and we're about to get into this fish here.
are.
What are we doing now, Chef
right.
Corrado?
So we wanted to flavor this a little bit, so we salt and peppered it, put some lime juice on, letting it sit for a few minutes, which we did, and then I'm going to just take a towel, I'm going to pat it dry, because we're going to saute this, and I don't want a lot of moisture on here. So we're going to try and pat that dry a little bit.
Wonderful.
All right, get some of that lime off.
Wonderful.
All right. So I'm heating my saute pan now, and we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to it.
Now tell me about your background.
My background.
How'd you get into cooking? What brought you to this point?
I've had several careers.
Good for you.
From interior design to working in restaurants to teaching,
Right.
to be an instructor. So I've run the gamut. So it's been pretty fun. I've done a lot of. I grew up in a family where we had an imported Italian food store, so I kind of grew up in the business of food. So it wasn't
Right.
a real huge leap to get to where I am today.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And so you're teaching now, correct?
I'm
you're
teaching now.
at a place called Cafe Liberty.
I
I'd
am.
love to hear more about Cafe Liberty and what you all do.
Cafe Liberty is a school, a program, culinary training program for veterans, and it's located in Wheaton, Illinois, and it's a very new program. We just had our first class start in January of this year.
Wow. And
So-
how's it going? What's your enrollment? And
We had 6 in our first class. We just graduated our first class, and now we are heading into getting our second class started.
I see.
So
And if someone were interested in enrolling at Cafe Liberty, what would they do?
they would try and contact Dan Gibbons,
Dan Gibbons?
who's in charge of the program. So I
Very
think we'll give that information to you at the end of the program.
Wonderful. Now, can people eat at Cafe Liberty? Can we
No.
come out and have a dinner?
No, it's strictly a
school.
school. Mhm. Exactly.
So
Not something we wouldn't like to do someday
I was
along the
going to
line.
say, it
but
sounds
yeah.
like future plans for
Yeah,
Cafe Liberty. I would
exactly.
come
Yeah.
to Wheaton to eat. So we
All right.
are rapidly cooking this fish.
We are. And I don't want to cook it all the way because we're going to cook it in our sauce when we make our sauce as well.
I
So
see.
I'm just going to cook it till it's probably in the medium rare kind of
Right, because you're going to
Point
finish cooking it
in the sauce.
a little more.
So it'll get all those great flavors from the sauce will be cooked
Excellent.
into it.
So this is tilapia.
It is.
What do you prefer? Do you like farm raised tilapia? Do you have specific feelings about where your fish comes from?
Yeah, I tend to go with the wild caught in most cases.
Right.
But you don't really find that with tilapia.
Correct.
So this is a farm raised tilapia that I have here today. Yeah, I try to get the line caught when I can, especially
it.
the line caught when I can. So
All the fish guys, though, and gals,
Yeah.
they always want to push you toward the farm raised. I'm finding that's the most sustainable. I hear that a lot, but I like the wild caught too.
yeah, and I think it's kind of there are farm raised fish that are farmed properly,
Right.
and there are farm raised fish that are really not the best
Right.
of conditions. So unless you really know what your source is, it's kind of a
Probably go with
a
that.
tough one. Yeah.
Wonderful.
All right. So, oops.
So
Piece
the
broke off.
rice pilaf is cooking.
It's still working. It's still working. Yep.
And what a lovely thing to have something working for you over there while you're doing the other work,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And the fish is coming out off of the oven here, or stove
It
rather.
is.
And we're headed into the sauce phase,
we are.
right?
We are. I'm just gonna.
Wonderful.
clean this
Now, do you
out
like
a
to
little
use
bit.
those scrapings in your?
Some of them. I
Sometimes?
will use. Yeah. There we go.
Sometimes I'm from the south, and we always keep every scraping right there in that pan.
With meat especially, if you're going
Right.
to make it, yeah, without
Right.
a doubt. Okay. So we took
Same
our
pan then.
Yeah,
Wonderful
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I'm all for doing less dishes.
Efficiency.
Absolutely.
So oil in there again.
A little bit of oil, and now we're going to do our sauce. So we're going to go with sliced onions, thin sliced onions.
Are these sweet onions? Are they?
You can use whatever
You
kind
don't-
you want.
Okay. And we had shallots in the pilaf, so we're going to
do.
get a double dose of oniony goodness.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Always a good thing. I think.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to cook these onions again, just kind of like we did the shallots, and we're going to cook them till they're about partway done. We want them to be soft, and we want them to be translucent again. So we're on our way there.
Smelling good. We're
Don't wanna brown
anticipating a
them.
Oh, yeah.
delicious meal here.
Yeah, for sure.
We have our 3 judges today who are going to be tasting this yummy fish. We have Miss Buscemi, Miss Smetana, and Miss Mollo. What are you thinking so far? You getting excited about this fish?
Yes.
I am. I'm pretty hungry. I haven't had lunch yet, so yeah,
And it's a
looking
healthy
forward to
lunch,
it.
too,
Yeah,
right?
It is.
Yeah.
Last time we were here, we weren't healthy at all. Remember?
Well, we had a little bit of carbs
Uh-huh.
and,
So thank you. Nice summary like
We have a little bit of
dish.
carbs, but not too bad.
Not too
yeah.
bad.
Mostly fresh stuff here today.
And so, how long in total does a meal like this with the sauce and everything take? We were estimating time.
Probably 20 minutes straight.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
With it
Not-
cut, with it all chopped
With
and
it all
everyone.
prepped, yeah.
Right.
But all this prep could be done the day ahead.
Now, what do you prefer? You a chopper or a cooker? Which one? If you have to take one roll on, what are you giving up?
I do both.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I married my husband was because he'll chop an onion, which
Okay.
I will not do.
Huh.
Hope he doesn't watch
Wow.
this. That's
yeah,
not it.
yeah, yeah.
There's more than that.
Sometimes if you're the prepper and the cooker, you cut your onions exactly like you want them.
That's right.
Because sometimes you get them and you're like, oh, that's too big, or that's
Well,
too
he's
small.
got like this fancy Japanese knife. He gets way into it. So I mean, I wouldn't want to
excellent.
take that away from him.
No, no,
You know.
no.
And there's gadgets now. You could just put it
Kaboom.
and
Yeah.
it's done. You just hit the
Yeah.
button.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are
How
the
much
best.
of, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. They're the best. I love those little gadgets. I'm a
Yep.
gadget person.
Are you?
Right.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Our onions are
Christmas gift for
just
Mr.
about
Hay,
ready.
gadget person.
So we're going to add our tomatoes to it, and then we're going to
Wonderful.
cook this down for a little bit.
Pretty excited to see how you're going to get all those tomatoes in there.
Yeah,
You gonna do it?
I think I overcorrect.
Always better than under.
Yes,
Always
absolutely.
better than under. Same with teaching,
Yes.
right?
Right,
Always
absolutely.
over prepare.
That's right.
For you young teachers out there hoping to get into the business. Despite what they say, it's fun, right?
It
Teaching?
is. Teaching is great.
I think so too.
There's no better reward.
How long have you been teaching?
About 20 years.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to believe because I'm only 34,
Yeah.
but I got in here early, and
That's right. And there you go.
so we've got onions, we've got tomatoes going in here
And we're
with
gonna
some
let
olive
this,
oil.
right, and we're going to let this simmer just a little bit for these tomatoes to break
Mingle.
down. So we might take a break now and then come back, and maybe our tomatoes will be a little more
Alright.
broken down.
Well, just to remind everybody, we're having fish veracruzana with a rice pilaf. We have Chef Cheryl Corrado here from Cafe Liberty cooking up a storm in our little TV kitchen here. If you could smell this, you'd be smelling some onion. You'd be watching and hearing this, this tomato break down into
Sizzling in
a
the
sauce.
pan, that's
Sizzling in
right.
the pan.
That's right.
We've got some tilapia ready to get a nice bath in there later and cook down a
Yes.
little more. And I'm excited to see what you're going to do with this cilantro. Sometimes cilantro is a deal killer for people. Don't you
Yeah.
find that? They don't love it.
Not very often.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you all like cilantro?
Oh, love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
Love it.
Very good.
Good.
And little onion. What are these? Bell peppers?
No, those are
peppers.
jalapenos, and those are
Ooh.
going to go in shortly.
All right. Well, we will be back in a moment after these messages on Cook This. Welcome back to Cook This. Today on Cook This, we have Chef Cheryl Corrado from Cafe Liberty in Wheaton. Cafe Liberty is a school dedicated to educating veterans how to cook. And today we're cooking some fish veracruzana.
Yeah.
We've got some rice pilaf cooking there, also a sauce with some onions and tomatoes and garlic. And we're going to finish up that sauce now and put it
Right.
on top of this, or we're going to put the tilapia in the sauce
Correct.
and probably serve that near or on a rice pilaf
Absolutely.
at some point. So take us back here.
Okay.
We've been cooking this down for about, I don't know, 7-8 minutes.
That's
it
right.
seems at this point.
And it's nice, and it's got a chunkier consistency. It's not quite like a sauce.
It looks and smells delicious.
Yeah. And we're going to add some sliced green olives to that.
Yum. Now is that a negotiable ingredient, those olives, or has it got to be veracruzana? Does it have to be in there?
It should be in there.
Got to be in
yes,
there. All right.
yes,
So if you're
yes.
not an olive fan, too bad. We're olive fans, right? We like olives in this
yes,
studio.
Yeah.
Very good. I
So,
do too.
yeah. So we've got some green olives in there.
And now the hot
Now we're going to
stuff.
add a little bit of finely chopped jalapeno in there. Give it just a little bit of spice.
A little zing.
So I hope you all like a little bit of spice.
They don't seem scared.
Yeah, good.
Bring it on. More.
Excellent. All right.
So it's a spicy dish.
Little bit.
Pretty savory too, right?
Very,
or more
very.
savory than spicy, you'd say?
Yes, for sure.
Very good.
Yeah, it's not a very spicy dish. I mean, unless you bite into a jalapeno, but otherwise it's going to season our dish nicely without burning your mouth. We don't want that. All right, so we're going to take
in
our
the bath.
fish and we're going to put our fish right back in here
Yum.
to warm it up just a little bit and absorb some of the
Tomatoey goodness.
flavor from our tomato sauce with our
Wonderful.
onions and garlic and jalapeno and everything else wonderful
Excellent.
that's in there.
Excellent. We've been talking about fish today. We can use any kind of fish with this. Are there
can.
fish you like snapper, but we couldn't find snapper?
Right.
So you look again, right?
So we look
You
again.
rethink. What
We
other
do.
fish could you put in here?
You certainly could use something that's a little bit thicker, like a mahi if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted, or you could even go very steaky, like a swordfish if you wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
any of the above would work really well.
Excellent.
All right, so we're just about ready here. My pilaf is ready, so what we're going to do is we're going to plate some
Spoon
of our
that
rice
up.
pilaf
Very
on
good.
here. And just for a little extra interest, I'm going to put a little sprinkle of cilantro in there.
Beautiful.
Since all of our judges like cilantro, so
yes.
that's good.
A
Yeah.
little greenery just makes it look
Oh,
fancy,
beautiful,
doesn't
doesn't
People
it?
think, wow, took some time with that,
I know,
right?
without a doubt. All right, so we're going to put.
So now you have
little
Italian
bit.
roots,
I
but
do.
Where would this dish have come from originally? Is this
Veracruz, Mexico,
Aha,
actually, yeah.
Very good.
Named after the city in which it was.
But there's probably something very similar in the Italian peninsula
yes,
like this
absolutely.
as well.
I think, yeah, probably Spain, any of the
Right.
Mediterranean countries, I would think would have something very, very similar to this.
We've all been fairly excited that this is a healthy dish, right?
Right,
Yes.
all right.
So about 20
we're
minutes
good to go.
total, if someone's willing to chop your stuff
Yes.
for you, your 20 minutes total.
Exactly.
And you're cooking what looks to be, I mean, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful dish. Someone's going to think you took a lot of trouble with this,
I
aren't
know,
they?
and it's so easy to do, right?
Right.
There we go.
It's nice and colorful.
Isn't
It
it?
is.
I might just make
And the
this
olives
at
are nice in it, actually, because it adds just a little bit of that,
meatiness and,
and a little bit of that vinegary piece to it, so.
oh, this smells so good. Can you guys smell that over there?
Oh, yeah.
This is lovely. And now, we're going to
Now
put
we're
some
gonna add a
finishing
little extra
touches on
sauce
this,
on there for sure.
on this extravaganza.
Yes.
Excellent. How do you get children to eat fish? I have the worst time getting my own children to eat fish. Is it too late? Should I have started when they were little? And have I missed the window, you think?
I don't think so.
You don't
I think
think
you just need
so?
to make it interesting. Start with something that's a little bit milder in flavor and work your way up.
Right.
You know, so tilapia is a good
Tilapia
place
would
to
work.
start. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Tell them it's chicken.
I want to learn how to cook a whole fish. Do you teach how to do that? Where they salt pack it or whatever
Isn't
and
that nice?
put that
Yeah.
whole fish in there? Seems scary.
But it's not.
It's not?
It's not. The scariest part is making the salt on it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That seems like
And
the
just
easy
timing.
part.
And just timing, you know,
Right.
just so you don't overcook it. All right. So we're good there.
This is delicious
put a
looking. A little more cilantro
A
on
little
top
garnish
of that.
on that for sure.
Fancy.
Make it look pretty.
Excellent.
All right.
Very good.
And we'll give it just a little, oops.
We're doing a little
just gonna
lime
do a
garnish
little
here
lime
on this
garnish.
fish
That's right.
Veracruzana. We started with a rice pilaf with shallots and some different aromatics in it. Listen to me using the culinary
big A word,
speak,
right?
Right. And topped it off with a tomato, onion, olive sauce with some tilapia in there.
That's right.
This looks delicious. Let's get these over to our judges
All right,
who
sounds good.
get the exciting job of
that?
chowing down here. One more, Miss Colette.
Thank
There
you.
we are.
There you go.
Wow. It's
And
beautiful.
again, while they're sinking into this gorgeous dish here, this is Chef Cheryl Corrado from Cafe Liberty in Wheaton. And it's a new program which educates veterans, which is very exciting.
Yes, it is.
I think.
Yes, it is.
What brought you to Cafe Liberty? How did you find out about it? How'd you get into this?
I knew the founder, Dan Gibbons, for quite a few years, and he called up and said, hey, we need some help getting this off the ground, and might you be interested in
Right.
writing some curriculum and helping us? And I was like, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. So it came at a time when I was trying to retire and couldn't do it because it was making me too crazy. I needed something to do.
You need
I
to get
was
out
like,
there.
you called me
Right.
at the perfect time, so I
It's a
just
sign.
jumped in on it. It was a
Yeah.
sign. Yeah, without it.
And what do we think? What do we think over
Delicious.
there?
Delicious. Very,
I
very
love
good.
it.
Yes.
Good,
Nice and light.
Yes.
Very tasty.
And it's a great summer dish if you can utilize the tomatoes of the season.
Yeah. Oh, that's an awesome idea.
And something that I would make at home.
Yes.
It's simple enough where it might not be as good as you made it, but
time.
still tasty enough where I can make it at home.
Yeah,
Very good. And the cilantro really comes
Yep.
out.
because it's a nice fresh element to it.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Very, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And hopefully you will be cooking more fish in the future.
I plan on it. Thank you.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
You
Just
made it
don't
look so
overcook it.
easy.
You did.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is just don't overcook it.
Don't
you know?
overcook it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink
right?
it, right? And with fish, if you're using a fish that's a little milder in flavor, just keep your ingredients simple so that you're not overpowering the flavor
Right.
of the fish. So the more intense the fish flavor is, the more strong you can go with some of your other ingredients. So tilapia is pretty mild, so the light tomato and a little onion and cilantro works really, really well with it.
Perfect.
So I'm glad you all enjoy it.
Delicious.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, our judges certainly seem to be happy with their fish today. This has been Cook This. We've been here today with Chef Cheryl Corrado from Cafe Liberty, cooking up some fish veracruzana. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.